Welcome to the 5 Keys to Self-Awareness, where you'll learn to transform negative patterns in the way you see yourself and create enriching relationships. So this is what happens when the strongest contact of the sun, which is all about identity, is from Uranus. And imagine you're with somebody who has the sun-Uranus contact. How do they act? These kind of people are have sudden and unpredictable changes of mood. They often have this feeling, have a sense, or maybe are a kind of outsider, alienated from society in one kind or another. They challenge convention anyway. They don't want to be part of society. And there's this kind of feeling that you never quite know what they're going to do next. You know, they're such slightly explosive, create a kind of disruptive atmosphere. So sometimes they're really there, and it's very exciting, electric. Sometimes they're like totally distant and shut off. And the reason for this is that in their childhood there was a lot of disruption. The father probably, he may have been home, but he would sort of appear and disappear, or connect and disconnect. Or he may have been a pilot, away for a long time and then come back. There's this kind of a connection, disconnection thing that happens. Also, there's this feeling that the father was unpredictable. So you have to give him a wide berth because you didn't really know what was going to happen next. And sometimes with Sun Uranus, there is an actual shock or accident or trauma or something which shakes up the system, the nervous system in some way. So when you're with somebody who has a Sun-Uranus aspect, you tend to get a bit nervous and stressed. And you get this periodically, often this feeling that they suddenly zoom out. They create a great distance, and then that makes you feel alienated. You wonder, how can you get in contact with them again? They may also try and enroll you in the kind of sense of their version of being an outsider, alienated in the world. And these are things you need to challenge, give an alternative viewpoint about society and things like that. And when they're remote, you need to draw their attention to that they've alienated themselves or created distance. They may not be conscious of it. So Sun-Uranus in a partner's horoscope can give an exciting relationship, a lot of travel, a lot of adventure, an alternative lifestyle, with considerable awareness and a lot of consciousness growth. So what happens if you have a Sun-Uranus? How do you act? I think that one of the things is that there's a strong conscious awareness. You really pride yourself on being aware of what's going on rationally and mentally. However, you don't know how to relate to feelings. You over-rationalize feelings. So you understand feelings, but you don't feel the feelings. There's a tendency to in stress situations, especially, you create distance and you become overly detached, and it gives you this kind of feeling of being disconnected, out on a limb, misunderstood, alienated. And that's a kind of a feeling that you're not in your body. And the reason, that this happens is because in childhood, and particularly in relationship to the father, there would have been this unstable vibration, which would have kind of sensitized your nervous system in some way, and you become very attentive to what's going on around you because you don't really know what's going to happen. And if things get a little bit explosive, then you kind of got this ability to detach mentally. You want to be, you put yourself on the outside looking in, and that's what gives a feeling of alienation. So what you need to do, you need to get grounded. You need to get into your body. You can do yoga, some meditative work. It's not so much like running and stuff like that, or extreme sports, although you might go that way. It's more like feeling the body. You have to discover the long-lost emotions that you've rationalized out of your life, and understand that the inner restlessness that you feel actually comes from something physical in the body and is not, in essence, a mental condition. So notice when you create distance and get intimate. So when you're conscious of this kind of behavior, you develop a tremendous self-awareness. You can show people an alternative way of thinking and living and doing things.